uncertain markets and prices on goods, I kind of started thinking that it's not a bad idea to go back to products, lenses in this case, that have been out for several years. And today I want to talk about the macro lens from Sony. This is the 90mm macro f2.8, and it's got this kind of classy, slightly retro look to it. But even though it's a few years old, this thing does really well, both for video and photo, and not just macro either. You can use this thing for portraits. My buddy shoots a lot of surf with this just because he likes the longer throw. You can capture stuff a little bit further away with it. But this is a great place to start if you're a Sony shooter and you want a macro lens. So I'm gonna put this thing to work, even with all these dogs back here. I'm gonna put this thing to work in my mother's garden. Today, I'm gonna shoot this without a flash, without any kind of constant light, and no tripod, because I just wanna have fun with it and get my shots. And things are finally starting to bloom out here. This thing has really nice color. So what I'm doing is I'm shooting at a shutter speed of 250, f7.1, because this thing is so shallow. You kind of need to give yourself a little bit of buffer. My ISO is set to auto, but with a range. It's usually better to shoot with a higher shutter speed because, as you can see, this thing's moving around just because of the wind. So I'm going to bump this up to 400. Yeah, just the tiniest amount of wind can make these things move, and if your shutter speed is not high enough, then it's going to blur. These things look like flames. It's really cool. I'm going to get some video of this too, because like I said, this thing actually shoots really nice video. So with the shutter speed in video, obviously you're going to want to maintain the 180-degree rule, and then push up your f-stop, because especially in video, if your focus is going all over the place, it gets really annoying. And then you're going to want to use something like your active steady shot on here, because I'm not using a tripod, just doing this all handheld. You don't want this shivering all over the place. And macro photography requires a lot of light, so you can make it easier on yourself by shooting on a really bright sunny day, or you're going to have to start taking a flash out. And then if you start dealing with insects and that's cool, small animals, you're gonna have to get really patient. I mean, shooting nature photography in general is a real test of patience. There's a big water drop right here that just looks like a diamond or something. It's kind of neat. I'm gonna go back to photo here and take this. Maxing out my shutter speed here. I'm getting as close as I can. That's actually too close. I'm not using a super tight focal area. I'm just using zone so I can actually move it around. But on some shots, you will prefer to move this down to like a tracking spot or just a regular spot, and then choose the size. Otherwise, it starts bouncing all over the place, and you will miss focus really easily. For the few times that I've gone out and shot macro photography, I feel like I've come back with 5 shots that were worth it out of the 1,000-something that I took. I tend to mess up macro photography a lot. Still learning. Got some nice sunlight on these. I'm gonna shoot them backlit because I want a little bit more of that shadow texture in there. So, yes, I mean, if I was shooting something a bit more stationary and on a tripod, I would probably put this on manual focus, but I'm just gonna rock auto because this is actually one of the few that does have autofocus, and still let you shoot macro photos. I mean, a lot of them, you can get a much cheaper lens than this one that I just personally didn't want to deal with. Maybe I'm lazy, but I really didn't want to have to worry about only shooting, there's a bee, only shooting manual. Autofocus just makes it so much easier when you're shooting video as well. I don't even know what kind of bee that is. Let's see if I can get some video of it before it runs away. It's nice to see that the pollinators are out right now. Ah, no, it's leaving. I will admit, sometimes the focus goes kind of nuts. So I'm going to back off to the zone. Hopefully there's less a chance. No, it's still going crazy. Actually, in this case, I'm going to switch it to manual focus. It's nice. It's just nice having that option. I can shoot manual and switch to auto if I think it's going to work. I think it's one of those flies that looks like a bee. Get some video before it runs away. I naturally gotta get some of the art in the lawn. Oh, you know what I noticed? This whole time I've had it on this limited range. I want it on full. No wonder it wasn't working. This is a garden gnome riding a unicorn holding a desert eagle, and there's also a cat on there. I suppose I can get down like this. Probably looks a little less stupid. Alright, switch to video. And try not to block my light. Let me just get a little bit in here. Up the ISO a bit just so I can get proper exposure. Am I getting closer? I can. I think. There it is. So with this thing, you'll probably have your lens about, I don't know, 5-6 inches away, 3 or 4 inches with the cup. Bumblebee. But if that thing would land, that'd be nice to shoot. I've never shot a bumblebee before. This one's kind of neat because you actually get to use your macro powers and really get up close to it. Let's see. Focus, please. Yes, focus. Really changes the way you look at things. Makes small stuff big. Would this be nicer on a tripod? 100% yes. But that means that I have to go and set up the tripod each time. And quite frankly, I'm I'm kind of a lazy macro photographer sometimes. Most of the time, all the time. Take a picture of her real quick. Ooh. This puppy loves the grass. Rosie. Psst. Psst. Hey. Rosie. There's so many things you can use this for, and it's an old lens. You don't have to pay a premium on it. This is the kind of thing that you can get right now, and probably even secondhand too, because it's been around long enough that maybe people have moved on from it. But I'm going to be keeping this one in my kit. I've had it for a while. I don't use it nearly enough, and I plan to use it more because macro photography is really fun. It just changes the way you look at things. It kind of lets you breathe a bit of fresh air when it comes to photography. You're not just doing the same old stuff all the time. You can take this on hikes with you. You can go out in your backyard, you can go to a community garden, walk over to a park, shoot that, and just look for anything that isn't normally interesting, but you know, you get up close to it and suddenly it's a whole different world. Bonita, Bonita.